try making flatbread pita wraps. These are fantastic. They're quick, they're easy, and there's so many things you can do with them. So let's get started. We're going to take approximately 1.5 cups of water, warm water. This water's been warmed. You want it just a touch over lukewarm. You want to be able to activate your yeast. Some salt, about a teaspoon of salt, about a teaspoon of sugar, and about a teaspoon of olive oil. I'm going to stir that up. Get our sugar and our salt mixed and our oil mixed. And we're going to add half a package of dry yeast. Once our yeast is in there and stirred up really well, make sure you break it up, make sure there's no little lumps. We're going to start adding our flour. We want to add enough flour. We want to get it to the texture of, let's say, a pancake, just a bit thinner than a pancake batter. You want to stir it up really well, make sure you have no lumps in there. Your flour dissolves easily into this mixture. I'm going to add a touch more flour, just a bit. And that's just perfect. And just let that sit for 5 minutes. Once our mixture has sat for 5 minutes, and we've allowed the yeast to work, we come back and we add more flour. That's about a cup. This is going to take about another 2 cups. We stir that in well. Just pull in from the sides towards the center, and your flour will work its way in there. Once it's thickened up and absorbed most of the liquid, start folding over with your spoon from the bottom up. Once we've worked that first cup of flour in, and it's absorbed most of the liquid, we can knead it a little bit. The reason we don't knead it obviously right away is because it's way too sticky. We add more flour. As I said, it's approximately a total of about 4 cups of flour, depending on the flour you use. Knead it by bringing in from the edges to the center and pressing down. Once it's in a nice soft ball, we can take it and place onto a floured surface. I'm just going to use the rest of the flour from my bowl here. Flatten it down a little bit, get it into an even shaped ball, and cut. Cut into equal size pieces. Into quarters first, and then cutting your quarters in half. So you have 8 equal size pieces. Once you have that cut into 8 equal size pieces, sprinkle with a little flour and take each piece and roll it into a little ball. You'll have 8 little equal size balls at this point. We're going to take some of them and place them. I have a sheet with baking foil here. Just place some of them onto your baking sheet and take the one that you have left flatten it out and roll it out. Now you can do this two ways. If you roll them out a little bit thicker, you can get the pita pockets. If you roll them out nice and thin, you get pita wraps. Same dough, same batter, same process. I'm going to set them aside. They roll out very easily. You can also just set them on the side. I'm going to do 4 as a pita wrap and 4 as a pita pocket, which means, just so you can see the process, I'm not going to roll out as thinly. I'm just going to roll it out to approximately this size. They're also a little bit thicker, as you can see. It's really 2 rolls of the rolling pin. They're going to need a little bit more rising time, the ones that we want the pocket in. So we're going to put them on the baking sheet, like so, well floured, and let them rise while we cook the pita wraps. While the others rise, we're going to cook these. We're going to add just a little bit of oil, lightly oil our skillet. I'm just doing this in a regular skillet. As I said, you just want your skillet lightly oiled. We take our pita wrap, pop it in there. Quick visual. They cook up fairly quickly. You'll see them lift up around the edges. You'll see them start to rise around the edges. You'll see them bubble up a little. In sandwiches, you just take and flip like that. They flip very easily. I use a fork. You can use a spatula. You can use a spatula to press down on it too once you've flipped it over so that it cooks, because those little bubbles that rise keep it from making contact with the skillet, especially as you have your skillet lightly oiled. You don't want to oil it too much. You don't want these swimming in oil. Add just a drop of oil. So I said you don't want to over oil the pan. Take your second one. Finished result is very nice. As I said, you get a very thin, very pliable wrap. Our second one's ready. As you can see, it bubbles up in the pan. We want to take that. I use a fork. I find it so much easier. I use a fork. Just grab one end and flip it over. You can flip it over more than once. Make sure they're thoroughly cooked. This is a fantastic flatbread recipe. They come out nice and pliable, easy to wrap without breakage. And here's our second one. Our third one. Really come out nicely. Great color, great tasting, and as I said, a very pliable, can you see that? A very pliable wrap. These are fantastic for handling. You can fill these, as I said, with so many things. As I said, these are fantastic. They're really a treat. As I said, they're very pliable, fantastic to work with. So much tastier and healthier than anything you might buy at a store. Clean up the debris, throw up your foil, and throw it out. The less you have to clean up, the more you're likely to do in the kitchen. Our last one's ready. Fantastic. They came out great. As I said, as you can see, very pliable, very tasty, really, really healthy. Once we're done with our pita wraps, we can proceed to cook up the other ones. We've given them enough time to rise, and we take them into our well-oiled skillet, pop them in there. Again, we follow the same process. We let them cook on the one side, and as they cook, you'll see them start to rise and start to bubble as well. As we can see, they don't take up quite as much space in our pan. They're thicker. Because these are thicker, you want to give them a bit more time to cook. Again, I have, instead of medium-high, I have the flame set at medium on these, just to give them plenty of time to rise and cook thoroughly before turning them. They rise a lot more. They're still not ready to be turned. You'll see them puff up as they cook, and that's the beginning of the pocket that we're looking for. It's just about there. As you can see, we have that pocket puff. Flip it. We're going to flip it. And these do need a bit more oil in the pan. As you can see, these, when you want to press down, they'll bounce back up. You won't ruin the pocket. Press down as they cook, making sure they get thoroughly cooked. As I said, you'll see them spring back up. You won't ruin the pocket. When you press down on them, you can remove and set on your plate. Again, cook on that first side really well. As you can see, there's our pocket. Makes a really nice pocket. And we're done. Very easy. Very tasty. You can freeze these if you're not going to use them all on the same day. There's so many uses for them. You can keep them, chill them first, let them cool first. Put them in a bag and save them in the fridge and use them throughout the week. Or you can use them all right away, which is obviously one of the best options. There's nothing like a fresh pita bread. I'm just going to cut one of these pockets open so you can see that. Fantastic. Really fantastic. Tasty, healthy, and you can do so many things with them. I hope you try them. I hope you enjoy them. Till next time.